There's a trend blowing up in Pinterest right now, and people on Etsy are already cashing in. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, how to design it in Kittl, and more importantly, what makes one design sell and another one flop completely. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, I need you guys to understand that the human element is in dire need right now, and this is something I've been saying for already over a year now, is that with all the AI crap that's out there, I mean, people want to call it AI slop, but let's call it what it is, it's crap. It's just come to a point where people want to feel seen and heard, and they want something that feels more human. They literally want the human element in our designs now. So let it be your advantage, right? The thing is, no matter how good your designs are, if there's no emotional hook, it's not going to sell. So you can see right now, I'm just on graphic tee design here, and a lot of this stuff, even the words feral speak to being wildly and uncontrollable, right? A lot of this stuff you can just kind of tell has this kind of human element to it. And by that, I mean, more organic shapes, fonts that are more like hand drawn as if they were trying to look like proper, representations or recreations. Overwhelmed, overtired, but it's still kind of like very organic here, right? And you can see even with this one, very much a graffiti style stuff. There's so much more hand rendered or human elements that are coming. I want you to see exactly how popular this is. I'm going to type one letter here and you'll see exactly what pops up. Just going to type the letter B, boom, banana shirt. This thing has been on fire on Etsy for a few months now, and it's blowing up like crazy. There's some that have been around for over a year, and one or two that are probably close to 2 years that I can recall. But what we're seeing is an absolute resurgence here. So without going into any metrics, we can just look at this, and I want to show you guys what I think would be a good seller and what is not executing properly, with the goal in mind here is to kind of get you to recognize certain elements within certain designs so that hopefully you can start to train yourself to identify these patterns as to why something might sell and why something might not sell. So in this case, I'm looking right at these guys right here. I'm just going to command click and open a couple. This one is not awesome, so I'm just going to command click and open up these in different tabs. This one, cool idea, but terrible execution, but they're on the right track here, and I'll explain why in a minute. This one is a really cool concept, but poorly executed. This one's a kind of an easier take on this one. This one I think is probably the original, so we'll open this one. This one's terrible, so command click on you. And these are all kind of riffs on the same. Yeah, this one also weak. I think we got enough, so let's look at what we got here. I said not awesome, so you can see it's got less than a month old here. We're looking at Everbee here, and if I scroll down to the bottom to see if there's any favorites updated, absolutely zero favorites, right? So the reason why this isn't working is because people are trying to just copy designs in a way that they know how. This looks to me like it was slapped together in something like Canva with just random pieces, trying to mimic a hand-looking homemade style design. It's supposed to be imperfect. Just slapping elements that you see YouTubers preach about, trying to throw them all into one design just because somebody said add stars or add a bow, or add these stripes and bananas are hot right now, isn't going to make something sell just by adding in all these extra elements. But the fastest way to kill something that looks hand-drawn or hand-rendered and organic is to copy and paste it over here, right? Draw the second one or create another one that looks also hand-drawn that isn't an exact replica of this original. And then we have our bows. At least these two bows look different, but they're still very clean, and it doesn't hit the nail on the head here as far as the mark. The font, pretty lazy. They just hit BA, enter, NA, enter, NAS. Like, if this is supposed to be hand-drawn, hand-rendered, make it look like it at least took you a little while. And then random stars plucked around. Boring, right? So this one's a cool idea. So I like where they were going with this, but also I didn't even look at the stats. We'll look at that after. Maybe I'm totally wrong and maybe this has some favorites, but this has a cool idea. So they're trying with the hand-rendered, hand-drawn vibe. Cool idea here, doing the bow that has, some rough edges, right? So it looks like it's kind of, human, right? It looks like somebody would have drawn this. The problem here is that, again, we have these, cool organic looking hand-drawn bananas. They just copied and pasted it. The ribbon is different. This one is very smooth and clean, where this one is a lot more organic. This one wins. This one totally wrecks the vibe. You might even be able to get away with these two bananas here if this font wasn't as bold and in your face. So right idea with the distressed font, but if you're going to use a font that looks distressed, the worst thing you can do is use it for a word that has multiples of the same letters. In this case, we're looking at 3 A's and 3 N's. Why is that? Because if this was a truly distressed design, all 3 A's wouldn't have this exact same distressing and both N's wouldn't have the exact same distressing, right? It sounds like so logical, but it's such a simple thing that there's a reason why this isn't going to sell. And if it does sell, it's probably not going to sell, many at all. Then you've got it coupled with a couple of other elements. Nothing else has a distressing on it. The whole idea about distressing something is to have it, the whole design look like it was vintage or distressed, right? It wouldn't only weather in certain parts. And then we got some weird stars, some stars with outlines, and then a random one here that doesn't, fit the vibe at all. We've got some hand-drawn elements, a cool looking potentially hand-drawn font, but almost too perfect. And then horizontal stripes instead of vertical, which just don't fit the MO. So let's actually look in case I bite my tongue here. So it's a month old. It's only got 3 favorites. I think it will get favorites until somebody kind of looks at this and is like, no, you know what? Don't know if I love it. This is the one I was talking about. It's a cool concept, cool idea. If you're going to use AI for this stuff and distress something, you cannot have white showing inside of these bars. This looks so good, had so much potential, and then you ruined it, whoever did this, because you need to delete this so the shirt color shows through, kind of like these. That's how distressing works. Same with the, the dot here on the B, or the, the punch out here. You can see the shirt showing through. Unfortunately, I would have deleted this whole white outline so that there's breathing space around the word that's, and bananas would have been really cool. But then it looks like they forgot they had a second layer under here. I don't know if you guys can see that properly on the screen, but it's definitely got another NAS under here that is totally confusing and taken away from the design. The second thing they did right was use a different bow over here, but it doesn't have any of the handmade kind of texture. It looks too crispy, too clean, no distressing. One thing they did right, font choice looks great. I would have rotated this a little bit so it still looks like, a bit of a font here, but it looks really good. It looks like it's a different A, right? It's distressed in a different way. The triangle right here looks very different than this one. It looks cool. So much potential on this design, and yet not quite there. The bananas, again, something right. The bananas are all different. This is so close to perfect. If we look now, oh, look at this. So they might just need to change their initial mock-up, because if we look at this one, the underlying NAS is gone. This one, it's gone. So this looks a lot better already. But they forgot that there's another layer on this one. So I think they were just probably rushing it. Probably one of those people who is trying to list 100 listings at a time, or one a day every day and not fail kind of thing. Not going to help, right? So only one favorite. It's got 6 views in the last 24 hours, so it's doing something. 40 views, 6 actual clicks here it looks like, and then only one favorite because, that first initial mockup, if this had potentially used one of the other mockups, maybe it would have some add to carts already. So it's completely different design. Look at that versus this. There's nothing here, nothing down here. Crazy. Okay, so this is confusing to me and to the buyer. This one I thought was awesome. Super simple, definitely feels brushstroke. It is a font, so all the A's are the same, but it still looks kind of fun. It's not overdone, and just a giant chunk of bananas, line drawing, organic on the shirt. Super fun, super organic in your face. These colors are trending. This all stems from that fisherman aesthetic. So if you were in my inner circle, for example, you would have had those, the trend reports, and the fisherman aesthetic has evolved from, the sardines and stuff from a year and a half ago, and slowly evolved into just the red and blue, and then into all things coastal with lobsters and oysters. And we've seen it kind of translate through. Now bananas are having their moment over here now. That said, it's a bestseller. It's got 50 sales. It's in 20 carts right now. 223 favorites. This thing is on fire. And as always, I'll leave a link in the top comment and in the description so you can check out this sweet little Chrome extension here, so you never have to leave Etsy while you're doing this research. Everbee just makes it so much easier to just, see this on the fly. Next one here is one I thought for sure would be hot, and yes, it is. 216 favorites. This thing is less than 2 months old. It's already got 47 sales, and it's in 12 carts. Look at this. Let's figure out why. So we've got hand-drawn stars. Okay, yes, this actually looks like it's a copy and paste, but they at least changed the size. They flipped it. They put some thought into this. The circles around this it looks organic. It looks like it was drawn with the same pen or marker that they did the stars in. It looks like the same thickness of line here that they even drew this font with, which is a popular one, you know, that you've seen. And yeah, even the banana is the same banana, but they did it in a slightly different way, and it looks really good. They manipulated the text here so the A's and the N's are different on each one, and it looks really, really good. Nice take on using the checkerboard here instead of the stripes. That's really cool. Haven't seen that yet. So good job and kudos to whoever did this. Cool take on it. It's all still really visible at a glance, and it just feels fun, organic, and more hand-drawn. If we look now at the last one here, oh, this was the other one that was no good. This is somebody who's trying hard, but the execution just isn't there. So if this is your design, I'm sorry, but it's just going to take practice. I think the intention is here. You're trying to do the right thing, but again, it's the same banana. Same banana, same banana. It doesn't look like it took you enough time to translate as a handmade design. So it's a font here. We've used the same font. It's cool that you've got this kind of organic element on this font, but then down here you used a distressed one. So I would use the same kind of font here. It looks like some letters are distressed and some are not. If you're going to use a font like this, then I would at least apply a texture over top that can distress the whole thing. It's an alpha channel and I have videos on how to do that in Kittl anyway. But the idea is right here. I think it's just the execution. Probably somebody who's just trying to, you know, ride the coattails of the best sellers, but just not executing correctly. Same idea with this person, right? But if any of this is making sense to you, please make sure to hit that like button and let's get going in Kittl and I'll show you exactly how to do this. All right, so I'm in Kittl here. The first thing I'm going to do is actually go back here and let's take a screenshot of some of these so we have some reference material here. All right, I've just pasted a screenshot here. I'm just going to move it over here for reference material. This is a really cool one. So you can tell that they've got some really good design capabilities here, some, you know, strong design prowess. The bananas are totally different. It looks really good. I like the placement. I think they're just trying to incorporate a couple too many elements here. There's no need for this wavy line thing and then this kind of wave. I think if you just flip this banana upside down and follow this curve, I think Bob would be the uncle here and you'd be good to go. I like the stacking of the font though. Definitely cool. I would just make that whole thing, you know, super big and have that smaller over top of the B. So obviously we need our text here, which is going to say that's bananas. One cool thing I'll show you is that there is a style down here and you can click on this, for example. I just said, make it say that's bananas, but have bananas stacked so it's BA on top of NA on top of NAS. Make it feel hand drawn and add some bananas. So this is one way we can kind of make a design that'll look ideally like this kind of option here, right? So that would take the guesswork out of it for you, and it's really cool that they have these styles in here because I've been playing around with this wash cartoon one for a while in some of our design level ups, and it's been so much fun. All right, so this is what we got here. So it understood the prompts. We've got some random bananas. You know, you can probably get away with listing something like this, and I think it looks pretty cool because they kept it kind of handmade. It's a little too polished, but you can definitely get away with something like this if you were going to do the teacher niche type thing and have the little elements that are all you know, pencils and pens and rulers and whatnot, right? And maybe the odd apple, something a little cleaner to that effect. Where if we're talking about like going bananas here and that's bananas, this thing needs to be bold, outrageous, and crazy, right? So I've just drawn my or typed out my basically 4 words, we'll call it. It's 2 words, but 4 chunks here. So we've got bananas in 3 chunks. I'm just going to come over here and pick a font that I think will work for this. And the nice thing here is you can just come click on handmade and they've got so many awesome ones. This is kind of how I go about it. So if I see a font that I think looks good, I'll just do this and then I'll just select them all and then option drag. So if you hold down option or alt on a PC, you can, instead of copy pasting, you can just, you know, hold it down, click any element and drag and it'll be there. So much faster than copy pasting. Keyboard shortcuts are the key to design life. I think we're gonna work with this one here. So let's make this artboard our shirt color. It's always the order of operations here. So it's slightly yellow, something that feels a little off-white, kind of like this sand color we got here, maybe a little lighter. I like the tone on tone. We got yellow on this. Maybe we'll do blue on blue with the yellow. So first things first, we gotta make this huge. So we'll just do this, boom, nice and big. select them all and just drag out a corner here. So the nice thing we can do with Kittl now is just come over here to transformation and check this out. If I click on distort right here, now I can come in here and do whatever I want with this font and do absolutely anything, and we can tweak these bars around to make it look however we want instantly. So easy. And let's say we had something like this, but you wanted to change it to BAN and maybe we're doing NAS on the second row. So you can just put BAN, click off it, and it's in the exact same shape and it hasn't left that box shape. Watch, I'll do a Control Z here, a Command Z on a Mac. Boom, right? So it's the exact same box, but just completely different. So we could put bananas and now it's in the exact same thing. So if I did a Command Z here, or Z for everybody who's not Canadian, it's really cool that it just fits like that. And if you ever want to just edit it, you can just come in and highlight again, right? You can highlight what you want to change, whatever you want. And then if you want to transform this again, you just come over here and click Edit Transform. So super easy to do. We can kind of make this, you know, a cooler shape. I didn't want to get too distorted here, so we'll just kind of do something like this. Looking at some of these, they're not too out of whack, but I definitely want to make them bold in your face. Do something like this, maybe something like that. And then for NAS, we can do transformation again, distort. And now because we're over here, we can pull this up here. So it kind of matches the curve here a little. And we can move these guys over, edit transform again, maybe come down like this, do something like this. So it's coming down a little further here. Or maybe we're gonna go up on this one. And then down here, we can do the same. Transformation, distort, make you come up like this, make you come up like this. And look at this instantly now. This feels so much more organic. It feels like less of a font and more like the human element in here, like somebody maybe had painted this. And that's the whole goal. I think we got maybe a banana down here to kind of balance. So I'm moving this over and now we're kind of not matching our, you know, stuff here. So that's okay. I can just come down here, tweak this, and I can hit edit transform. And then we can just pull this up so it matches. So much fun to do, and it's so easy to do. Let's go crazy here and just do something like this. Nice, big, and bold. So let's go ahead and make these this kind of muted blue. Just click on the selection colors here, and then I'll click on this eyedropper, and then you can just come over here and click on the blue, and it'll bring it that nice muted blue color. It looks really good. And I'm really loving the checkerboard pattern here. So let's look at making a checkerboard pattern. So we'll come over here into the illustrations and see if they have checkers. Yep, look at that. So I know what you're saying. Well, this looks like it's definitely not nearly wonky enough. That's okay. All we have to do is come over here to hide the color, or we can double click on it and select the white part and then delete it. Now we've got only our yellow. And actually, this looks pretty cool. So maybe we'll just look at flag. Let's replace this. This is great. It's already done. Look at that. So what I was going to show you is that we can just come into any Kittl element here and you can just double click on it and then you can edit each piece as you want. And yeah, I know it looks rigid. All you have to do to make it round is double click on the point, and now we've got a round point. So if we wanted, for example, to leave that like this, add a point here and then make it curve, I'll double click off so you can see. Now you've got a curved line here. And if we wanted this one, for example, to match that, this is kind of, you know, you can visualize where the line goes and have it like this. Double click to add our pen point. You double click anywhere on the line and just, you know, maybe double click again, and then we've curved it out, right? And I'll double click off, and you can see now how this kind of line flows. And I was going to do that across the whole thing, only, you know, another one here, and then we could edit each square if we needed to, but mostly just the edging here. But lucky enough, I found a flag here, and it looks like we've got a few pieces. So I'm just going to, maybe I'll move this over here so you can see it all. So you can see all the pieces here. All I want to do is really double click on the parts that I don't need. I can get rid of this guy, for example. Just click on the dots and you hit delete anywhere you want. So I can do that, get rid of this. All right, so I just deleted the border here, and I can click off this and you can see now we've got this bounding box here. I think this will look really cool if we can rotate this. What I don't like is how we have our hard edges here. They don't match the flow, right? So what we can do is, again, just double click on it. And now we've got our curved line. And we'll do the same thing here. Add a point, double click on the line, double click to make it a curve. And if you wanted to get rid of the curve, all you have to do is double click on it again, and it'll put it back to a hard corner point. See? Just like that. Double click, now we got our curve again. So I'm just gonna double click here, double click again, so we have our curve. And I think that looks pretty cool. I'm going to do the same here. Maybe a little less of a curve. You can just move these around wherever you want. follow the curve a little bit like that. And we'll do one last one here. I'll pull it down a bit and double click just to make it a curve. Now we got a full checkerboard background. Hold down Option or Alt if you're on a PC and pull it down here. And I'm just going to pull out this corner so it kind of fits this box here. Do the same thing here. Make sure all these pieces line up, and then I can come in here, double click on this one, and move it up to here, right? Move that out of the way. So we're only seeing what's underneath. It's all about just making sure that it fits the flow here. And I think we're there. Now select the two of them, I'll group it. We're gonna send these to back so they are behind where we want it to be. And I think now we've got a nice and big checker kind of thing here, which looks a lot of fun. Still feels like it's too much because it's black. And again, I'm just going to come over here while it's selected, click on the ink dropper. It shows our project colors here, but in case you had different colors on here and you wanted to make sure it matches this one specifically, I can just ink drop and click on there, and all of a sudden it looks amazing. I might actually just get rid of this one. So I'll just select these dots here like that and hit delete. I think that looks cool. Looks great. Maybe we can rotate it a bit, move this in here so we can have a couple of bananas. We want hand-drawn bananas now, so let's come over here and click on hand-drawn bananas and see what pops up. There's a good chance we're going to find some cool stuff here, and if not, we can always leverage the AI down here. Hoping to find a few that look like they were from the same set. We don't have multiples here that look like they were from the same kind of artist or drawn together. So we can just come down here, pick our style, artistic. Let's see what we got for featured here. Dolce Vita. This looks like it could actually work. It's got the right colors. Let's go with, and we'll get our 3 iterations here of bananas. And hopefully this works. And here we are. We have 3 bananas. They're all slightly different. I'm just going to pull these over here. See how we have 1, 2, and 3 colors? In this case, they're all showing up here. I'm going to make this light green. This same blue, which we can see down here, is our blue of the letters here. So I'm just going to click on U, and then I'm going to click on the brown and do the same. So now our banana here totally matches our 2 colors, right? I'll do the same thing here. We've got another banana, totally different. I really like how this one has a slightly different effect to it entirely, and that these guys are way different, right? So really cool that way. I might actually come in here and I might actually fill in a little bit of this. So this is a great chance for me to teach you the pen tool. So I'm just going to click on this down here. You can just click on P, keyboard here, or just click on it here. And then we can just draw our shape. So we can kind of like do something like this. And if you come across and you hold it, it'll apply a curve here. So I wanted you to see that. So if I get my pen point, wherever I put my next one, I can just press and hold. And now I've created a curve. So I'll do that. I'll probably come down here and then maybe somewhere like this over here. And then I'll come over here and do something like this. So now we've got our shape. And I don't want it to have a border color, but I want it to have color fill. So I'll click this. Our color, you can see how there's nothing here. As soon as I click it, it'll autofill in the black, and I'm going to remove the border. So now we've only got this. And if I click off this, we have this like hard, rigid shape here, and it kind of, defeats the purpose, right? So we can kind of like move this over here. I can zoom in here, and anywhere again on the line, I can just make another one, bring it down like this. So it just feels, make another one here, maybe pull it out, and then of course we can double click again, and now we've got some curves, so it kind of fits some of this stuff, right? And it just feels like it's part of the design, right? It looks like it was intentional, it looks like it was made on purpose. So maybe with this one, for example, I'll come down here and I can bring this guy, actually let's leave you like that, pull you like this, and maybe pull this guy down here, something like that, so it's not perfect. Right, so we've got some like clean patches or like shirt showing through here. Ultimately we want the same here, and then this guy, of course, I'll just make this color the same blue. Now we got 3 bananas, 3 completely different fills. I think these look awesome. Let's zoom out a little and we'll see what we can do. Forgot to group it. Select this guy, group them so now they're together, and we can kind of play with the placement here. Looks like a bunch. Let's see what we're looking at here. So the yellows are the same. I think I want to do something a little different, and let's get a darker color in here. So I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to click on this yellow, and then I'm going to ink drop and choose the darker yellow here. So now we've got these 2 showing up in behind. I'm going to do the same with this banana here, going to make you the darker banana, the darker yellow, I should say. And then this yellow here, I think I want to make you a little lighter. Something that is still very visibly there, but also very much muted a bit. So I could do something like this. So now we have our two banana bunch. Maybe we'll curve this a bit. Put these guys maybe like this so we can have our 100% wild. Maybe we'll just throw you here. Move this over a bit. Increase this size here. Let's rotate you a little. Something more fun. You know what? I'm going to click and drag because it's not bananas unless there's one upside down, right? So these, because it's still the same banana, but because I'm rotating it and putting it in a completely different location, it looks so much different already. So I'm just going to kind of cut the S there like that. I think looks cool. And then this guy, maybe I'll just come here and go flip horizontal. So it's just going to do this. And there we go. This is fun. So we're kind of like, you know, framing the word here a little bit. And now these still look very much the same to me. So all you have to do is come in here and you can either Shift Command O or you can come down here to outline text. So you can see it's Command Shift O, or you can outline text. So I'll do that. And now this is just like this banana shape. So if I want to edit anything in here, what do? Yep, you guessed it, just double click on it. Now I've got this piece alone instead of having to, you know, move everything around together. And then if I want to edit any part of this, you know, piece itself, yep, double click one more time in. So now I can just highlight a couple of these dots here, delete them, you know, delete this, bring this like this, kind of curve this around a little bit, maybe move this, maybe delete some of these, double click to give it a curve, and then we can sort of look out or zoom out, and you can see now that this part of the A is totally different than this part, right? This to me is one of my favorite parts about Kittl, is being able to so easily manipulate text and create something completely unique that nobody else is going to have, right? And this one looks far enough apart from the top one that I don't even think it's going to make a difference here. But if I really wanted to, I can do this. I can select it, Shift Command O, then I can double click into here. And if I wanted to, I can just come like this and flip it. Just so you can see that again, I can just drag this corner until it flips itself. And then we're going to make it relatively the same size here. Looks like I need to be a little bigger. And you know what is more bananas than being bananas is having one letter way out of whack. I was actually going to curve this back and do something like that, but I kind of like it like this, way off kilter, and it looks really cool. And I think with this stuff, you can Command C, Command V to paste, and now you can see there's two of them, or you can just Option drag like I was saying before, but I'm going to move this one over. I'm going to select the one underneath, and I think we're going to go a little darker on this just to give it a little more pop here. I think that looks pretty cool. I think we're actually going to add a text shadow on here. We're going to go with you. We're going to go with the blur down to 0, outline with you. Let's make you let's start with blue, but let's go darker blue. So we're still navy here, very much a navy. That looks pretty cool. Still a muted navy, just a lot darker. I think I'm actually going to have to change the color of the light blue to a little lighter, so there's more contrast here. And then in this one, we're going to go the same. We'll do the lighter blue. And this guy, I'm going to do the same. We'll do shadow, no blur. The angle kind of this way. Looks about right. Shadow color is the darker blue. And then we need the border on this guy. Of course, it has to be the darker blue. So this is looking really cool already. Maybe we bring this guy to front. So you can shift and then right square bracket, or you can just come down here, click on the three dots here, come down to bring to front. And now it's in front of this guy as opposed to behind like it was. So we're going to bring you to front, but then we're going to bring these guys to front as well so that they're on top. I like the bananas on top here. And then this guy looks like a lot of fun too. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just doing the same thing with the bananas to give them a little more depth. I think that looks fun that way. And I'm just making the yellow, this navy here. That looks like so much fun right now. We've got so much more depth here. It's starting to look really organic. We just need a little bit of distressing to kind of tie these letters into everything else. This looks so good. Maybe we make this a little smaller. And now we need that, and we need our emblem here. It's been one of my favorites forever. And if you have a font that you want to, use that Kittl doesn't have, I'll just show you here. If we click on the font, for example, you can just come down here to upload font, which is what I did. So I uploaded this font that I bought a long time ago. Still one of my favorites. And I'm just going to option click over here because I think I'm going to use the wild 100% wild in this font. The nice thing about a font like this is that it has different letters inside it. So if I was to click on a capital T and then a capital H, for example, you can see that the letters are different here, right? So the two T's side by side are different. I like that T, I like that H. This feels fun. This T, we want to be different than the first one because we want them to look like they were handmade again, right? And then that's it. So we're just going to leave this as that. Let's make you a little bit bigger here. I think that kind of fits. That feels good. We want to make sure our color matches the rest of the design. So I'm just going to click on you, click on our ink dropper here, and then do the darker blue here. Actually doesn't look like the right color. Maybe it's my eyes. And then this guy, we can say, what did these say? 100% wild. So we'll go 100. Actually, I'll use a letter O. So now it looks different, right? This looks fun. I don't want to use a percent sign because the lines and the circles are going to be the exact same. So I'm just going to actually use this. This is exactly the elements of a 100% sign, right? So I'm just going to Shift Command O to outline this, and then we can just move these around. So I'll make you like this, make you like this, make you smaller, double click, make you smaller, bring you over here. We're going to rotate you. And I don't want to just pull it like this because now we've got a couple of different thicknesses here that don't make sense, right? So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing that, I'm going to keep it so it's the same thickness relatively. Make you a little smaller. But then I'm just going to double click on this, and you can just highlight these dots here and pull this out. So now we've got our percent sign. I think looks pretty cool. As soon as you click off now, it's grouped already. Illustration colors. We can probably do it this blue, and then we're gonna go this guy. Also, you, does it look right? No, you know what? We're gonna go dark on both of these elements. And of course we have to move this together or closer. And then this should probably be a little smaller. We can make you a little bit bigger. Then I'll Command G to group them. Now it says 100% wild, and I don't want to just kind of do the same exact thing. So I'm gonna stack this, and I'm just gonna use this guy again. So Option, click and drag, and we're gonna make this say wild. Let's see if we got a capital W here. Yep, I like that wild better. What is our capital I? I like that one better also. Capital L, yep. And capital D, definitely. So I'm taking this now and I'm just going to say wild here. Move you up a bit, move you like so, kind of angle it a bit. So this says wild. I don't think we need the dot on the I here. So I'm just going to Shift Command O again, double click on the I, move it down here, double click again, and you can just come and like select these dots and delete them. Easy peasy. Move you back into place. Nice thing we can do again, same thing. We'll just flip it. That looks like a more properly structured D, but now I need it the other way. So we can just kind of do this. We're just moving these letters around until it looks like it feels good, right? So I think that looks good. I think that looks wild enough to me. I'm actually going to select this part here and bring this in a little, and then take that one, delete them. Now this feels good, looks good. I'm not going to put a circle around this, I don't think, but what I am going to do is give myself some breathing room. So I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to group this, and then we're going to give it a border that is the shirt color, so it has some breathing room here. And see how that looks. So I'm just going to come here, click on border, and then for the border color, we're just going to click on the background here. And now we've got a little bit of breathing room. We can play around with our border weight. That's too much. That looks good. That looks fun. And you can download it and have the background removed, and then it's not going to have that border on it, which is really fun. 100% wild. The only thing I want to do now is we're going to just copy and paste the same font, Option click. I'll just use a long letter, so maybe a letter I. I want to underline here and make this our own. So again, Shift Command O to outline, double click on you, select these dots, delete them, don't need them. We're gonna rotate this, just click you, delete. We're gonna bring you down here, and we're just going to move this over here, get our start and end points, and then anywhere in between here, I can just double click on the line and kind of do this. Click on that to curve it. So now we have a nice curve. I got to make the bottom one match. So I'm just going to do this, so it kind of looks and feels organic. I'm going to bring it to front. And I feel like we need to rotate this and then rotate this one a little. I'll select the two of these. I'm going to group them, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Option, click and drag, but we don't want two exact the same. So I'll double click on here, and then we'll just maybe delete these guys, you know, do something like this, make this guy a little shorter. Then I'm going to group these two. I think that looks pretty cool. It feels more wild. And we have our bananas design here. I think this looks awesome. It's completely unique. Nobody out there has it because nobody's going to take the 20 minutes it takes to make something like this when they can just churn out, you know, AI generation after AI generation and then wonder why things aren't working the way they should. So that said, the only other thing I might do here, and I'm just going to duplicate the artboard before I make any permanent changes, I might add a texture here. So what I can do is come over here to this kind of element here that looks like, literally looks like textures. It says textures if you hover over it, so I'm just going to click on it. And then we can go over to our grunge textures, paper textures, alpha mask selection. You can use any one of these if you want. I kind of like the chain link idea. Nobody's ever done that I've seen. So let's just click on it and see what it looks like. And then all you have to do is come down to our mask right here and bring this down to alpha mask and then delete our background color. And now we've got what looks like chain link over top of this design. I think that looks pretty cool. Nobody's done this before, so yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. They have so many amazing fonts, but the only thing better than having all these amazing fonts is being able to play with them and manipulate them and truly make something your own. And if you want to check out Kittl, check out my coupon code down below. I'll leave it in the top comment as well, and it'll get you 25% off, so you can test that out. This is so much fun to do. I'm actually going to try one more because that looks awesome, but I want to try these grunge textures here. That looks so cool. So many things you can do to make it feel weathered and worn. Worst case, this will sell on its own on this color tee anyway, but that's how easy it is with Kittl to manipulate something and make it look completely unique. And we even had a happy accident here with the A being off kilter that way, and it looks just right. That said, if you have a design that is kind of sitting out there in limbo that you think the idea behind it was solid, but it's just not actually converting, I invite you to check out our Shirt Heads community. It's $12 a month. Juna and I are in there. We have a full comprehensive Kittl course. It's the most comprehensive Kittl course on the planet, and we're still piecing it together. It's also a space where you can have your design submitted and then leveled up by us. So we'll take your concept. Maybe it was this guy. Maybe it didn't work. And maybe we turned it into something like this. And then we'll give you back your design, full commercial rights. I'll do one and Juna will do one, and you can check out our level up playlist so you have an idea of what we do with that. And then it's yours to keep. So you could arguably sell that on a t-shirt and make $12 of profit each. So cover your monthly cost, right? It's the fastest and easiest way that I think Juna and I can actually give back to you is by creating your designs for you in a way that we would actually sell in our own shop. And if you like this kind of video, comment down below with the letter that you want to see me pop into Pinterest next, and I'll just pick one of the shirts and we'll go to town on it. See you in the next one.